talk about Harry Billups, a.k.a. Amir Muhammed. What is his relationship to David Mack?
His relationship with David Mack was they were college roommates. That's how they began their relationship, and they became friends.
You say in your Clearing the Rubble chapter, page 90 of Murder Rap, that the composite drawing made by Eugene Deal, who was the bodyguard to Christopher Wallace and Sean Combs, quote, only bore a passing resemblance to Amir Muhammad. Do you stand behind that?
Yeah, I don't think that they looked that much alike.
Fred Miller, Russ Poole's former supervisor, said the composite had an uncanny resemblance to Muhammad's driver's license photo. Do you disagree with that statement?
That's his opinion. That's his opinion. But I've already disagreed with that statement. When America's Most Wanted ran those composites during one of its episodes, there were hundreds of calls of people calling in saying, hey, that composite looks like my neighbor. Hey, that composite looks like that guy I just ran into down at the drugstore. Hey, that composite looks like this gang member from the Rolling 90s. So there were hundreds of people from their own perspective who thought that composite looked like somebody they knew. That's why that composite was essentially worthless.
Okay. Fair enough, Greg. But let's talk about misrepresenting facts like you've accused me of. You said in your book that Eugene Deal tentatively identified him as the Nation of Islam guy behind the wheel of the Impala. This is false, Greg. On camera, in the Biggie and Tupac documentary, Eugene Deal pointed to the photo of Muhammad in a lineup and 100% positively identified him. He was so clearly upset that the LAPD did not show him this photo when they interviewed him that you could see it in his face. He stated this. This is an eyewitness. How do you refute that?
No, that's easy to refute because long before that interview with Nick Broomfield ever took place, the LAPD had already sat down with Eugene Deal and had already shown him a six-pack compiled of different photographs of other people, and he identified one of them as the Nation of Islam guy. So now we've got him looking at different photos and identifying different people as the Nation of Islam guy. So I called him up and I said, Eugene, what's the deal? And he goes, here's the deal, Greg. I never meant to say that. I know it was all dramatic on camera. The truth was I was simply saying it bore a resemblance, but when I made that very adamant identification, yeah, I was wrong, and I made a mistake. And that's during my interview with Eugene Deal, who had already identified somebody else as a Nation of Islam guy during his LAPD interview.
Then why in
that was a worthless identification.
Why in the wrongful death suit filed by Valletta Wallace in 2005 did he stand by that description that it was Amir Muhammad that he had seen?
Because he's just like half a dozen of these other guys. They dig a grave and then they jump in it and don't know what to do when they get caught with bad information. You know, these guys are invested in something, and instead of just admitting that they were wrong, they have to try to defend it. Eugene Deal was not a good witness in the Valletta Wallace civil case, which is exactly why David Mack and Amir Muhammad were dismissed from the case because the attorney knew he couldn't carry forward with it.
I believe, Greg, that you downplayed Muhammad's jailhouse visit to Mack as just seeing a childhood friend. Why did you not mention in your book the fact that Muhammad wrote a fake Social Security number and address in the jail visitation log?
Because he's visiting a criminal and he doesn't want to be associated with him. It's very simple. People do it all the time. Half the people that go down to the jail put false names or false information. It happens all the time. There's nothing really all that suspicious about it.
Really? Because you implicate Teresa Swan as a criminal because she used false IDs in your book. So that doesn't apply to Muhammad, who you, quote, say that he was just a law-abiding mortgage broker.
So are you suggesting that because he put down the wrong Social Security on a visitor log that he's a criminal?
I think it's a red flag.
Is he a criminal? Because that's the analogy you just drew.
Oh, yeah. I can follow up on that. The
criminal act? I'll have you know that's not a criminal act.
Okay, that might not be, but I've got one that is. The LAPD robbery and homicide detectives did a research on both of his adopted Muslim name and legal name and found 8 prior addresses, each with no forwarding. And in 1998, October 21st, I believe, Muhammad was arrested in Chino, California for brandishing a 9mm Beretta firearm while pulling up to a car next to him. He was arrested with a fake driver's license under the name Amir Muhammed. Is that a criminal act, Greg?
Yeah, that's a criminal act.
Now, you knew this guy used fake IDs and you omitted it from your book. The FBI probed Amir Muhammed because of a jailhouse snitch named Michael Robinson. He said that Wallace's murder went by the name Amir, Ashmir, or Abraham, and he went to his house with a wire. So, is he a criminal or is he a law-abiding citizen? And is it not a red flag that he's putting down false information when he's visiting a corrupt cop in jail?
About Amir Muhammed, I think that Greg Kading has made a statement that
the simple mortgage broker statement?
A simple mortgage broker and innocent mortgage broker. I think he might have even said, where do you land with Amir Muhammed and the existing information? And I will talk about a few things. I will talk about, this is a guy who, it's recorded, got caught with multiple fake identities. Mm-hmm. Multiple fake driver's license. Now, as a mortgage broker, I don't know why you need 4 different identities or 4 different driver's licenses. If you can explain to me why that's the case, then maybe I'll understand that. And I do know, what little I know is that there was some work done on Amir Muhammed at the FBI that Phil cannot talk about, and it is not public information, having to do with his financials. Whether that means it's, a fake bank account, whether it means he was funneling money to DBAs, et cetera, et cetera. I do also know that the mortgage company that Amir Muhammed worked for was close to 100 miles from where he lived, meaning he would have to commute 100 miles every day to go to a job. Whether he did that or not, I have no idea. So where do you